Well, the Israeli military is shifting the focus of its offensive to southern Gaza, saying it is targeting Hamas command centres, weapons stores and naval forces. That is after the ceasefire with Hamas ended on Friday. The United States has reiterated Israel's right to defend itself, but stressed that the country has a moral responsibility to protect civilians. Well, on the line from Jerusalem is Avi Hyman, a spokesperson for the Israeli government. Thanks so much for joining us here on Newsday. Can we talk about the Israeli hostages first of all? Some 240 were taken by Hamas into Gaza during that attack on October the 7th. 110 were released during the truce last week. Do you know where the remaining hostages are, whether they are indeed alive?
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me on. Well, we hope and pray that they're all alive. Unfortunately, we know who we're up against. We're up against a brutal terrorist organization, Hamas, that plowed through our borders on October 7th, raping, beheading, killing children in front of their families, in front of their parents, and parents in front of their children. We do have intelligence, but like my prime minister said, we won't be broadcasting it to Hamas. Our mission from the beginning of the war was twofold. One is to fully destroy Hamas so they can't do October 7th again. And the second is to bring home every one of those 240 hostages. We can't leave anyone behind.
Let's talk about the other aim of your war then, which is to destroy Hamas. And we've heard that the military focus is now on the centre and on the south of the Gaza Strip. Hundreds of thousands of people, though, left the north at Israel's insistence. And now you are telling people, many of whom have already had to relocate once, to move again. Doesn't it show that nowhere in Gaza is safe from Israel's bombs?
Quite to the contrary, we're doing something that is unprecedented in modern warfare, or maybe warfare historically. It was actually 1.1 million Gazans that moved from the north to the south. They heeded our call to get out of the line of fire. And when they did that, and when we went in with the ground offensive, you saw the civilian deaths greatly decrease, because our fight is with Hamas, not with Gaza. We want to free Gaza from Hamas. So now we've stepped it up a level by putting out a very, very specific map with numbers of specific areas. And we're literally giving the civilians a heads up. We're coming into your area. We're dropping leaflets. No other army does this type of thing on earth. We're dropping leaflets. We're saying, get out of the line of fire. We're coming after Hamas, and we're going after those Hamas strongholds, because Hamas has made it very clear that they intend to do October 7th again, and again. And we can't allow that. We can't allow that for the children of Israel, and we can't allow that for the children of Gaza.
Well, your efforts to tell people where attacks may happen have been applauded by some. There's also been criticism by others, because we heard earlier on that some maps had to be reissued, that they have QR codes on them, which you need a mobile phone that is both charged and has access to a mobile network to access.
Right, we've heard these suggestions that there's no mobile phones, but then we saw when our hostages were released that there was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Palestinians so excited to all pull out their cell phones so that they could film these the bounty, the prizes, the Israeli women and children that had been brutally taken against all laws of war, a crime against humanity. So if they can take photos of that, one would assume that they could pull out their phone and scan a QR code.
Now, the US Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, and the United States is your closest ally, has said that Israel must avoid further significant displacement of civilians inside Gaza. He has at length, and listeners can read this on the BBC website, stated what the American expectation is of Israel's conduct in the war going forward. Yet you are asking an estimated 170,000 people to leave various parts of Gaza, 50,000 of whom have already been displaced. So you are not already adhering to what the United States has requested.
I think on the key points, we stand shoulder to shoulder with America. And those points are Hamas needs to be destroyed. Their military capabilities need to be destroyed. Their government needs to come down in Gaza to free the people of Gaza. We need to bring home every one of those 240 hostages, and the American administration has been pivotal in securing the release of the hostages so far. And lastly, we need to minimize civilian casualties on both sides. We don't want to see any civilian casualties on Israel's side. We don't want to see any civilian casualties on the Gazan side. But sadly, this is war, and war is hell.
And a final point, the US Vice President Kamala Harris has said that too many Palestinians have already been killed. She said there has been a devastating amount of human suffering in the Gaza Strip. Do you think you are at risk of losing political support from the United States?
I think, like I said, war is hell, and we are conducting this war in the most surgical possible way. And when the dust settles and the real numbers come out, you'll find that our army has acted in a way that is, far more. Far more advanced in saving lives than any Western army ever. So we'll wait for the day after Hamas, and then we'll look at the numbers.
Avi Hyman, spokesperson for the Israeli government. Thank you for joining us.